What's going on, everyone? Doz3r here, with another Vigor video. Today I'm just going to be talking about Shootout and a little bit about the strategies that you can pick up and some recommendations from me. This is more of like a new player or intermediate player video. So Shootout is a free-for-all mode that enables you to find weapon crates and spawn with random weapons. It's the fastest pace combat in Vigor. It feels something more along the lines of free-for-all in Call of Duty or some other type of FPS, so the pacing is way faster. It's great for learning combat engagement, and tips and tricks are crouching, first-person shooting, and understanding what weapon you're using and selecting the fire appropriate for the engagement. So I'm using an M1 carbine right now, and I have it on fully auto, and that's for close to medium range combat. Now I'm going to use it later on in this video, and I'll be using single fire, and that's anything for medium to long range combat. The carbine does suffer from a penalty after so many yards. I believe it's 100 yards or more. So headshots are kind of a must for it at that range, although you can land successive body shots and potentially, do the damage you want to do. So with this shootout mode, you're always going to be spawning on Sagbrook. It's a pretty tight area. It's kind of like a sawmill area. Same map every time, so you can really learn this. It does vary from its encounter counterpart. Some of the places where you can go are just a tad bit different, but this does familiarize yourself very intimately with one part of one of the encounter maps, which is pretty cool. So paying attention to kill zones and kind of figuring out this map will help you in encounters eventually when you choose to go there. But yeah, super fast pace, a lot of fun, and great for learning how weapons work. I recommend not corner camping, but learning how to go through corners, slicing the pie, so aiming down the sights, pre-firing when you hear someone close to you. If you're using a headset or you have good speakers, then you'll have the advantage being able to hear the footsteps, and eventually you'll be able to judge pretty much where they are. So it's kind of like seeing with sound. It's very good to have a headset or good sound system in this game. There's a lot of audio cues that'll really help you improve your game. And then see how I'm switching between third person and first person. This assault rifle is great in first person, and in third person it's just a little too wild for me, so I prefer any engagement past almost like point blank. I use iron sights with that because it's pretty unreliable in third person, even with the burst fire method. So with fully auto weapons firing in 3 to 5 round bursts, as the tips do say in the game loading screen sometimes, you can really improve your accuracy with fully auto weapons. It's pretty cool. This is the SKS. I absolutely despise this weapon because I have one in real life, and basically take an AK-47 and put it on single fire and shoot it as fast as you can. You can go like, bah, 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 bah. You can shoot pretty fast. Well, that SKS in this game, for whatever reason, has like the shooting delay that makes it almost as slow as the Mosin. Like, it's atrociously slow, the fire rate on it. So it doesn't behave like that at all, and kind of makes me a little bit miffed. It should shoot pretty much as fast as the M1A1 carbine does on single fire in this game. Like or even the VZ rifle. Like, and I'd say the VZ rifle has a great rate of fire, but shoots slower than an SKS should shoot. So who knows? Hopefully there's some balancing there. They should tone down the damage on it, and then just make its rate of fire a little higher. It'd be much more viable in the game if they did that, I think. And this grease gun is pretty bad. Headshots pretty much are the way forward. Although aiming down sights with this weapon is, if you're going to be using it, I highly recommend aiming down sights, because for whatever reason its spread is like much easier to control. So definitely first-person shooting with the grease gun, even at close range, it's a better option because it kind of goes wild when you do the third person. So there's a weapon crate there. You find them on the ground in Shootout, and you might get lucky with some pretty cool guns. So definitely check those out. There's one weapon in particular that I really like getting in Shootout, and that's the MGV 167, I think, or 176. I think it's 167. It's a drum magazine 22 long rifle machine pistol, but it's more like it looks like a Sten. It's pretty out of control. So that's a fun weapon to find on the ground, because yeah, you can get on a kill streak pretty fast with that thing. It's relentless. So maintaining a crouch while shooting definitely helps, especially if you're not going to be doing first person. And it keeps you kind of your profile lower, so if someone's firing at you from a distance, they have a harder time hitting you. See, even with this weapon, I choose to fire in bursts just to make it a little more accurate along the way. So that definitely helps. And yeah, playing shootout, you'll realize that sometimes you spawn in and you're surrounded. You're gonna get spawn killed. It's something that happens. But hopefully you get something like that happens where you spawn knowing where they are, and then you can kind of do a rebuttal. Let's call that like a rebuttal kill. So that'll help you kind of get some revenge, much needed revenge. This game is like a tennis match, just smacking the ball back and forth right here. It's a lot of fun, especially when you find a couple people that you play consistently against in the shootout mode. You know, you're like, oh, this is my rival for sure, and it gets a lot of fun. Or even just climbing the leaderboard for the match, like that CYN person. You know, when they gun me down, I'm try really hard to find them and get them right back. So shootout is a lot of fun, and highly recommend it for all players. Also, something that I'm not entirely sure about because I haven't been around Vigor long enough, but I noticed that it's highly lucrative to play shootout. First place awards, I think, 3 or 4 crates, maybe more. I think it's 3 or 4. Second place is 2 crates, and I think third place is 1 crate. So the shootout crates are very awesome because they have cosmetics, and they also have a chance to get other crates within a crate. So the shootout crates are awesome because you can get any type of crate, I'm pretty sure, within them, or at the least the resource crates and the weapon crates. So that's awesome. You know, like if you want to hone your skills on combat, you want something fast paced, and it's inconsequential as far as, you know, when you die here, you don't lose your gear, so it's great. It's all randomly generated for the match, and you have a chance of getting some awesome stuff through the shootout crates. So highly recommend that. That's an example right there of using the first person shooting with the PM rack. That's a nasty little weapon as long as you're using the first person sights on it. The spread's a little wild in third person, so again, grease gun and PM rack, I'd highly recommend aiming down sights on that. Ah, here's the carbine. I think I go single fire, and it does pretty well. You know, it's not going to compete against a... Oh, look at that glitch with the hand. That's great. So I'd consider this medium engagement right here. Right at about the 75-yard line. 50 to 100 yards. Yeah. Man, I was trying to get that guy with that iron sights. Sometimes you just gotta go third person and just get in there. Sometimes you stand no chance. See, there's that CYN guy again. Got me good. I think I go right back looking for him too. Yep. There's that rebuttal kill again. Love running that ammo. That's what I do enjoy actually a lot about the shootout mode is you basically get a weapon in like 1 or 2 extra magazines, maybe. So, you know, good luck, because if you can survive long enough, you know, you got to be constantly picking stuff up, and that picking stuff up makes it a little bit more fun. as far as, you know, the competitive nature, because you can't just dominate the map unless you're, you know exactly what ammo you're going for, or you can switch weapons fast. So it does teach you how to think on your feet and switch weapons too, which is great. This is the GAL Uzi, one of my favorite machine pistols. I think I talked about it in one of my prior videos, but basically competes with the Thompson and does really well in the encounters, because it's a pistol, so you can carry 2 primaries out. You know, go in with this, come out with 2 primaries. It's a good way to get weapons and defend yourself. I don't always go looking for fights when I go in encounters. Sometimes I just want to go in and get resources and play a little more casually. All depends on the mood. Another thing about the shootout mode I would like for them to do is basically with the weekly resets, if they could just switch the map that you play on, so that way it's not always Sagbrook and it's not always Anakin for elimination. I think that would be a fun way to kind of change it up, make it more enjoyable, because these game modes are fun as standalone, and they get washed out real fast. They get really repetitive when you just keep doing the same map over and over and over. It makes for understanding the map though, so I just think for people that enjoy playing these modes on top of the game, that'd be a way for the devs to easily get some more life out of this, because people will burn out on this real quick. And at the end of the round, you'll come to this sudden death mode, where it basically waypoints everyone on the map, which makes for a little problem for campers, which is nice, because sometimes you get guys that camp on top of buildings, or they're just laying down in the grass the whole mission. So that end of the round part really does help speed up the round. I love how you can't see the rank on anyone going in. You can just see their accolades, you know, like 1,000 kills or 150 kills or rank 6 in building. You know, there's no way to tell who's what level, so that really makes for fun competition, because you know you see someone basically cash out, you know, throw their crown down and make the loot better, and they could be a level 2 or they could be a level 50. You know, you don't know because it won't tell you. And you know, just looking at someone's cosmetics alone, you can kind of understand, like, if you really pay attention to Battle Pass, or if you pay attention to what they're wearing, you can gauge a little bit. But it's not a sure thing. So I do like the anonymity of going into shootout like that. It makes for a fun surprise. One thing I've done is I've gone in wearing the starter clothing, so it's kind of unsuspecting when you're actually performing well. You know, someone might throw down a lot of crown boosting the crate if they don't see anyone wearing cosmetics, because they're like, oh, it's a fresh lobby of new players. In reality, you know, you got a couple hundred kills in encounters and you played a ton of elimination and you know exactly what you're doing, and you can just kind of sweep them. So that's kind of a fun little thing I've done before. I'm not the best at this, not by any means. There are people that are just monsters at this game, and good on them. I'm just having fun, talking a little bit about this game mode, and sharing a couple of my wins, because I definitely have fun with this game mode. So it is definitely fun when you get a weapon that you're familiar with, because you can perform quite well with it. And then getting stuck with weapons that you don't really care for, It's nice because it ups your game with. Let's say you're in an encounter and you run out of ammo with the gun you like. You pick up someone's weapon and you hate it. At least you can play this and get experience with things, you know, that you don't have or that you don't normally play. So it really improves your overall performance in the game as far as the combat's concerned with. That was a nice headshot by that guy. I totally thought I had him right there too. That combat magnum is pretty nasty. As long as you're patient with it, it's pinpoint accurate, which is nice. But it does have, you know, that fire penalty where it's just not the fastest shooting thing. You easily get outgunned by someone with fully auto like that. Now, those burst, like the M16 and the AK that has the burst fire, those things are pretty useful weapons. So even when you run up, unless you have advantage, like they can tear you up with the accuracy of those bursts are no joke. I was determined to get that guy even if I went down. Ah, see, there's someone hiding up on top there. As long as they're accurate, people that are up there, they're a major threat. So always keep an eye on the roofs like that. See, I'm coming over here, and I'm over it. I'm like, nah, I don't want this guy up there taking all the kills. So I go up there looking for him. And I'm like, not about to let him have all the glory. It does pretty good for him to have an AK and be that accurate up there. Must be on it with the iron sights. Oof! Look at that health. No health. Oh, a tactic for this is if you find a bandage, always use a bandage and then, you know, your heal after, because the bandage will add half your health back, and then the other heals after that will be much more effective, whether it's antibiotics or disinfectant. So. Bandage first if you get hit hard. If you don't get hit hard, save your bandage. So like more than half health, I'd say, you know, bandage up. Other than that, disinfectant and antibiotics should work just fine. I don't think I could see where that guy was. I was concerned. I was trying to flush him out. Look at that guy. I think he should have had me right there. He got some good hits in. I was using the carbine. No chance. This gun is so fun to use, but man, it's a monster. It's so inaccurate. Some people I played with, one of my friends, Pity, he's pretty good with it. He's done really well in encounters. I mean, pretty much brings it for the memes, but he actually performs. See, look at me trying to tear that guy up. Even burst fire, couldn't do it. Yeah, some people perform pretty well with it though. It's pretty random, but for those that do, I'm sure it's very satisfying. Now, I'm trying really hard to use this weapon for its intended purpose, you know, trying to stay back and marksman, but I don't think that I do very good with it, simply because the rate of fire on it is just atrocious. The iron sights are actually nice, they're not that bad. For some of the weapons in the game, I think this is one of the better iron sights. I just wish I could get hits with it. I'm pretty bad with this weapon. Excellent, excellent. The fact that that guy got me from that angle is pretty good. I'm pretty sure they weren't even using iron sights. I think they were just firing at me, so that was great. And with this Thompson, you gotta get headshots to really be effective, because yeah, it doesn't do a lot of base damage. Here's a monster of a weapon. This thing's rate of fire isn't that great, but man, does it hit hard. And it's pretty accurate compared to its the RPK-74 is the purple version. This is the blue one. I think the blue one is much better, actually, for some reason. Which is great, because I think the blue one is actually cheaper to make than the purple one. Oh, I remember this. This guy should definitely have been able to get me, but I ended up getting the drop on him here. See, I thought he was above, and he ends up coming from below. He missed terribly there. He definitely should have got me. So anyway, that's Shootout, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and some of the tips were helpful, and I'll catch you on the next one.